Demon Seed.
Walcott, you must be mistaken.
It's now, it's here.
Come on down here and help with this.
Demon Seed.
Paranormal existence.
You mean to say you came here purposely?
The first move in the great conspiracy had been made.
Okay, hang on, I'm coming in now. Right, so the intro, Mike, I thought this time, I just thought I'd bring up, I'm just adjusting myself, so hold tight.
Sounds like, it does sound like.
So I'm just tucking it back in because it comes out sometimes. Right,
here we the top or the bottom?
Well, it's sort of the middle, it bulges through.
Bulges my ass, I've seen it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the thing is, I've got very tight, it's not so much underwear, it's plastic sacking. Right, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's just get this really, really going for gold now.
Well done, mate. So organised, Charles. It's brilliant.
I love it. I
can't believe you're this switched on at only 1:10 in the afternoon.
Born free, free as the wind blows. Free and easy on the highway of life, Mike. We're about to go. And this time, the introduction is going to be slightly more dramatic. Are you ready?
Yeah, of course I should say so.
It was a cold winter's night. The rain lashed down upon the woods. Jimmy Jenkins, the young local boy, was lost and afraid. Where am I? Where am I? He called out to nowhere. Then suddenly the mist descended. Across his face, eyes, arms, the backs of his legs, in between his legs, on top of his legs, his feet, all across his body. Help! Help! This is no normal mist. It's an evil stinging mist that rips one's skin off. And indeed it did. And Jimmy Jenkins was dead. Welcome. What's it called? The podcast?
Demon Seed.
Welcome once again to the Demon Seed, home of mystery, mirth, and merriment, and the other M's. Perhaps you'd like to name some, listener, or perhaps not. Now, let us delve in. So what do you think of that?
That was good. I like the accent. I like the whole vibe. The vibe, the feeling, the ambiance of it.
It's good, isn't it? I like to really, embrace people.
It's good, yeah.
That's what it's all about, embracing. Have you done any embracing yourself of any form recently?
Well, obviously, coronavirus took my usual embracing game down a few pegs, but I still embraced people in my bubble, as you say in the UK.
Yes.
And, I'm looking forward to embracing more people now that the restrictions are being reduced.
I embraced a cat recently. That was quite good fun. Partial Garfield. It was,
I'm looking forward to taking my top off and embracing you, to be honest. Well, I can see.
Oh, I can't wait. Hot summer's day, just the lads free and easy in a convertible car.
You got it.
Cruising down the beach, just us, just talking about mysteries and all that good stuff. Well,
I'll be playing John Cougar Mellencamp on CD.
Oh, come on. I just shove it in my ear holes now. That's what I
about Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland. Like you're going to be a football star. Diane debutante backseat of Jackie's car. Me and you just cruising down to Western Supermare.
Oh, free and easy. Come on.
Junction 32 off the M5.
Yes. And then...
life goes on.
Turn it up, Mike. I love it.
Living is gone. And life goes on.
Yeah.
Long after the thrill of living is gone.
270. Come on, let's go. Wind in my hair. Woo! Strength, power.
Interestingly, he didn't like the name Cougar. His name was just John Mellencamp, but the record company wanted to add Cougar to make him sound cooler.
Originally, John Chicken Dick Mellencamp, but
it didn't catch on as well. It was, although the country charts loved it.
Oh yeah, massive.
What would you, if you have what you've got? I was going to say, you have got a name. You've got Eggsy. I've never had a nickname.
Bubsy, Bubs.
Yeah, but Bubs is just a really shortened version of my name.
Bubblicious.
I was called that in school by people I punched just afterwards. Bubblicious, Bubblegum.
Well, a quick aside before we really go for it. When I was in school, I've got some great anecdotes.
Oh, these are the best. I know.
This is a classic. Paul Wadley, aka Paul Phillips, his mum remarried. He took on the other name, or vice versa. I can't remember.
Fair play to him and to her.
Yeah, and great lad.
And the stepdad.
I never met him.
And to be fair, the biological dad for not contesting it.
Yeah, big up to all
winners. All winners in my books.
One day I was going over the shops, Dufferin shops.
Oh, right. I love that they're so specific, your anecdotes. Go on.
Oh, they're classic. Orgy Joe's Chip Shop. Normally you get sausage and batter and chips.
Postcode anecdotes. Go on.
85p. I'll tell you the story about the homemade vasectomies, but I'll save that for another time.
Okay.
I was going over the shops. I wasn't going to Orgy Joe's Chip Shop. I was actually...
Orgy Joe.
If you went in and you said, chips, please, Joe, with salt and vinegar. And then Vince Lamprey would say, watch this. What's in the vinegar, Joe? And then Joe would shake it near in between his legs and go, whoa, whoa.
Oh, Christ.
And the rumor was he was having orgies at the back and putting the fluids into the vinegar shaker.
I think you've seen orgies round the back.
But anyway, Wadley.
The distortion is even more worrying.
Well, the thing is, like, you have the chip counter, then there was like a sub office to the side, which no one ever saw what went on in there. They were great tasting chips. That's all I can say. Yeah. But I digress. I was talking about Wadley.
You do digress.
He
What's good is that big chunks of this are being missed out because of your audio quality, but I think that adds to it. I think it adds to the mystery.
I think it adds to the mystery. I'm next to the router now. I'm getting full signal. But let's hope.
Can you sit on the router? Can you put the antenna in your anus and see if that happens?
I don't think I could.
Make your whole body, you're like calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Like make yourself a conduit.
A sort of symbiosis of man and machine combined.
Yeah, like a dirty Borg. You just stick a Wi-Fi antenna up your arsehole.
Yes, assimilate me.
You have been assimilated.
Oh, right up. Oh, imagine
and
that.
I can call you, I don't know, 7 of 10 or something like that. That's wicked. I'd call myself Wireman, but that's just Wireman's good.
Wireman's pretty good.
Auto Boy.
Oh, yeah, good. Although Auto Boy.
Auto Man, wasn't it? There's no Auto Boy. Producer Reese, I think he sat on the antenna.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm back.
Are you on dial-up?
No, I've got full Wi-Fi. I've got full Wi-Fi. It says strong. It says strong right now in front of me. Strong.
Yeah.
I'm strong. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I think it's Chromebook's tiny memory that can't handle things like the 21st century.
Oh, God, this is just...
It's good, isn't it?
This is a trap.
They're getting this for fucking free, John. Anyway, don't worry about it. They're not paying for it.
You're right. I mean...
If you're doing a gig and I just paid 30 quid for a ticket, I'd be chugging bottles of piss at you on stage.
Yeah.
It's free.
I agree with that. So they get what they're given, Mike. They get what they're given.
You fucking pay peanuts, you get monkeys.
Exactly. And then you've got a couple right here, right now, flinging shit through the cages.
Not me, mate.
Well,
you got a monkey. And
yeah, and I'll fling shit. Anyway, I mean, I've told my stories. I didn't quite get to the one about Paul Phillips, aka Paul Wadley. I did tell you the one about Orgy Joe, but I'm here to tell you a real story, Mike, a real tangible story, one of the paranormal. Mike, have you ever found anything?
Yes.
Have you ever found anything and been mystified by it?
Don't know.
Okay. Have you ever found anything shaped like a head?
Yes.
Juicy. Go on. Unleash. Let us in. What was it?
Just my nan's auntie who died, and in her house there was a little ceramic head, but it was actually a phrenology head.
Right.
So obviously the phrenology being the sort of Victorian practice of feeling the head and where the bumps are tells you, how big your dick is, what sort of books you like to read, what your favorite color is, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Feeling the head.
And it was a pen holder. There was a pen holder in it for a fountain pen. So it was actually on my desk in my office. Okay.
And when you found that head, you brought it home, you use it on your office. Nothing untoward has ever happened regarding that head?
No, not particularly. No, just put my pen in it usually. Although, if you put a pen there the wrong way around, upside down, essentially, then the ink, you use a pen and it doesn't work because the ink's gone the other way. Yeah. And if you leave it down and the pen's not very good, the ink can tend to leak out. So I don't usually put a pen in it normally.
Okay. And when you say
it's a pen holder for a different age, basically.
Right. Okay. And there's nothing untoward about it. This is fine. It's a head. It's used in the home. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Mike, let me tell you about the Hexham Heads.
The Hexham Heads.
The Hexham Heads is a frightening tale of ancient curses, modern-day werewolves, all based in northeast England.
Okay.
This is courtesy of the Spooky Isles website. What do we know about the northeast of England for a start?
They love a drink.
Yeah, they love a drink.
Oh, hang on. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, boy. Wait there 1 second. Someone's going wrong.
Mike is currently adjusting himself. He has a special chair, which many of you may not realize. It's called the pleasure chair. Mike devised the chair himself in 1993, and it involves a series of pulleys and braces, which once he's in, he activates the pulleys on either side of the arm, and they stretch various parts of his body creating ultimate pleasure. This is why during the podcast you may hear Mike moaning erotically. Don't worry, it's not a sex thing. It's just a way of Mike releasing endorphins in a unique... He's back in the room, come on. Okay.
Sorry, that was my dad. I thought it might be an emergency, but it wasn't. It was just my dad telling me my sister is covered in poison ivy. She's been out of the state.
Oh, God.
But, you live in America, you got to take the rough with the smooth, haven't you?
I'll say they're swimming in the stuff.
If you want massive McDonald's Coca-Colas, you've got to put up with a bit of poison ivy now and again.
True. Very true. Back to the Hexham Heads. In 1971, a family from the town of Hexham, Northumberland, were driven from their home following a strange occurrence that plagued their house following the discovery of not one, but two small stone heads in their garden. So, Mike, already we can see a symbiosis, a unity between you and this story. How do you feel? Yeah,
I mean, as I said, mine was in my Auntie Sal's house in Merthyr.
Yeah.
It wasn't made of stone, it was made of ceramic.
Yeah.
It had been glazed and drawn on. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't in the garden and it wasn't made of stone. So,
okay, so some similarities there.
I mean, there's a head involved in both stories. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, two heads are better than one in this case because, as we know, there are two heads. Bizarre phenomena included poltergeist activity and the proclivity for the heads to move around by themselves. The heads themselves were about 6 centimeters in size. One was called the boy due to its masculine skull-like appearance. The other, the girl, because it had long hair and female features carved into it. The final straw came.
These days, of course.
Yeah. You know, these days, I mean,
he can identify as a girl. That'd be up to him. It's up to that stone. It's up to that rock.
Yeah.
What they want to be known as and labelled as.
Yeah, we should let people know that if you have a stone or rock and you want to portray some sort of personality onto it, yeah, you can call it whatever you want. It's 21st century. That's fine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's that, and the same goes for the rock itself.
Totally.
Absolutely. If it was sentient anyway, which I assume that's where we're going with the story.
The final straw came when one of the family's children and a neighbor witnessed a terrifying creature, half sheep, half human, and the front door opening.
A human, if you will.
Itself. A massive human. Now, I've seen sheep and I've seen humans.
Or a humeep.
That's got more of a ring to it, isn't it? Humeep.
Yeah, humeep.
Yeah. We'll bring that up. We'll call it the humeep for the next page. What are the Hexham Heads? Well, Dr. Anne Ross, an expert on stone heads, came into possession of the Hexham Heads after they were sent away for analysis. In recounting the strange circumstances, Dr. Ross remembered a strange coldness emanating from the heads and taking an instant dislike to them.
They're made of stone.
Yeah, but what if they'd been left in the sun and they were still cold? Think about that.
They wouldn't. They're in a lab.
Yeah, but what if the lab had like a sun gun in the corner because they were doing tests on sun? Think about that.
Well, maybe.
She initially concluded they were Celtic. That night, Dr. Ross woke around 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., noticing the intense chill of the bedroom and the feeling that something was there. She was alarmed to see a 6 feet tall, half man, half wolf figure lurking by the door. A woman.
A
massive woman. Lurking by the door. A humor.
Actually, a werewolf, isn't it? I mean, that's half. There's already a word for that. I just realised.
Exactly. The being left the room, followed by Dr. Ross, descended the stairs and leapt over the banister before heading back to the house. No, I read that wrong. Before heading to the back of the house. I read that correctly. Investigations found nothing there.
Yep.
4 days later, Dr. Ross's 15-year-old daughter was terrified by the sight of the werewolf, which they used the term werewolf there, hiding on the stairs when she came home from school.
Hang on a second. How can a werewolf hide on stairs?
Good question. They could have lived in an incredible...
I fancy my chances of having a game of hide and seek if a werewolf was hiding on the stairs.
I mean, a lot of stairs these days are sort of just wood. They tend not to put carpet on stairs these days. If it was an older house, had it possibly ripped up some carpet tacks, rolled itself in the carpet and lay in wait? We don't know. It's something to take into account. But I mean, also the stairs could have had a curtain across them.
Yeah, I mean, they could have. They wouldn't have, but they could have.
They could have. I mean,
yeah, but anyone's listening, they wouldn't have.
Yeah, okay. The wolf again jumped over the banister and disappeared into the music room. And of course, we all know the music room is one of the most popular rooms in any house. It's where I'd go if I was a werewolf. Incidentally, if you were a werewolf, where would you go?
With the living room, wherever the telly is, really.
Yeah. Dr. Ross's daughter followed, but couldn't see the wolf in the room. After this, the entire family, including the slinking down the stairs.
John then said, couldn't see the wolf in the room.
Yeah, because again, they're not paying for this, so they get very once Dr. Ross's husband, who was ill in bed, had his dinner taken up to him by his daughters, which was slightly hindered by the werewolf standing on the stairs. Have you ever been slightly
What a crock of shit this story is.
Well, you say that, Mike, but it goes on. It goes on, and
I'm sure it does.
The family associated the strangeness with the Hexham heads and were desperate to get rid of them. Dr. Ross...
You don't think sorry for swearing, you don't think like a werewolf in your house that's been seen several times by different members of your family and is there blocking the doorway when you're trying to bring, walk around with some plates of food.
Hindering you, yeah.
You'd immediately think that was the stone heads you got from the garden, would you?
I mean, I would, yeah. I mean, you think about it, right? You've not had a werewolf, a half sheep, a half dog, a half man in your house, right? 2 kids find 2 stone heads, you get your hands on them, this happens. Immediately, as we mentioned before, Occam's razor. This is clearly...
I mean, this is not an example of Occam's razor. If you're leaping to the conclusion that 2 pieces of stone in a garden had otherworldly powers, which led to a fairly athletic werewolf living in the house. That isn't Occam's razor.
No.
That's the opposite of Occam's razor.
Yeah, but what if it was
like Occam's sponge? There's no edge to that whatsoever.
Who's to say we don't call this Occam's sponge? Therefore, we find an answer.
We call it Occam's sponge then.
Okay. Clearly evidence of Occam's sponge. The family associated the strangeness with the Hexham heads and were desperate to get rid of them. Dr. Ross worked on them as a matter of priority, halting her other work, and eventually the heads were passed on to other experts. One refused to take them on the spot, having had previous bad luck when he had stone heads stored in his car boot.
What happened to him?
It just says bad luck. He might have shit himself on the motorway.
He had a slow puncture or something, did he? Or fucking filed his tax return late.
Well, a friend of mine going into, the old
indigestion.
What's it called? McDonald Holland House in Cardiff. It's not called that. It's a hotel just as you're coming into Cardiff on the Newport Road. Many years ago, I digress from the story, but I must
by all means.
Many years ago, he was travelling into Cardiff from Newport in that direction, and there was a phase during the sort of late 90s, early 2000s for people of a rustic nature to stop at the lights there and come out and wash your windscreen for you, and they would paint a small heart with a sponge on the windscreen, and then they would expect £1 or £2 in return. But of course, what they didn't realise is we've all got windscreen wipers,
which I would turn on in those situations.
Yeah. Well, he did something very similar. This sort of withered lady came out with a sort of mask on, not a mask, but a sort of shawl. She washed his windscreen, and he said something like, leave me alone. I don't, get away from me. And she said something along the lines of, give me £1. He said, no, leave me. He actually said, fuck off. I don't want to, Anyway, as he drove off, she muttered something which he couldn't understand.
Yeah, you fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He started to think about this and wondered, has she potentially cursed me? Thought nothing of it.
Almost certainly not.
Well, he had his day shopping, got back in the car, drove back out of Cardiff, and if you're on that Newport Road or whatever it's called, heading out towards the motorway.
Yeah.
There's
A48M.
That's the one. That's the one for any listeners who want to use Google Maps right now. As he reached the Burger King on the left-hand side, a sudden stirring in his stomach, he passed wind and dirtied himself.
Well, are you there, John? What a time to leave! I mean, that was a great story. You're back. I was just thinking that's the sort of esoteric anecdote that you don't get on other podcasts about unexplained phenomena. Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, I listened to one recently, and they just spoke about someone walking through a wall and someone
they get bogged down and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but this is the meat and bones of it. This really is,
Oh yeah.
This is what they come for.
I should say so.
You know, let's delve back into the Hexham heads anyway. As we know, a second specialist looked at the heads, had terrible bad luck after carrying his own heads in the boot of his car. But the Hexham heads themselves were investigated by a chemist who discovered they had a high level of
chemist.
That's the first person you bring in when you're being haunted by a werewolf. Yeah. In the midst
fair play then bringing a chemist in, not bringing in someone who deals with rocks all the time, like a geologist or someone.
Yeah, go straight to the chemist.
Yeah.
Because if there is a curse and you're going to get diarrhea, the chemist can at least give you something to help.
Some calm your stomach or whatever.
Yeah, Andrew's liver salts. Although I was always worried they would give me diarrhea. I've never touched them because of that. In the midst of several investigations, the heads eventually disappeared. No one knows where they wound up or whatever happened to the werewolf. However, it later emerged that the previous owner of the house in Hexham, where the heads were originally found, came forward and said he'd made the heads as toys for his children. Whatever the case, it's still an interesting situation. It's still being looked into today by Paul Screeton, one of the first to investigate it during the 1970s. What do you think of the Hexham heads? Tell me in the comments section. Well, you can't tell me in the comments section.
Oh, we got a comment section
here. I'll just say, well, this is it now. Comment section. Mike, what do you think of the Hexham heads?
I said I have no opinion. Is pretty bang on, really. I mean, I believe that someone could have found some stone carvings in their garden.
Yeah. I
don't believe there was a werewolf or a half man or a humeat or any other weird creature.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, really. I also don't think that you should be giving. I wouldn't leave rock analysis down to chemists personally. And I've known people that might get on their high horse and say, "Well, yeah, but you could use various acids and see how the rock reacts, and that would be the realm of a chemist." But also, I mean, a decent geologist would be across. He or she would be across that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, I think we can both agree that this story, not all the facts are there for us to really go in on this. There's no video footage. There's no.
No, I mean, on the spectrum, me thinking it's complete bullshit, and you thinking it's probably true.
Yeah.
Then the real answer's in there somewhere, nearer to my side of the spectrum. And by nearer, I mean right on my side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
You know.
Free and easy on the highway of life. Very quickly, before I round up this, I just want to say, okay, that story was a little bit up in the air. We didn't quite know where it was going to go, and we haven't really found the answers. But let me tell you this one.
I think we have.
About 4 months ago, a good friend of mine sent me a video message. He was out walking with his family, and they found the dismembered torso of a full-size silicone rubber sex doll in a trench. He sent me video footage of one of his children beating it with a stick. Now that's real. What do you think of that?
How do you know it's a silicone rubber sex doll and not just like a mannequin from a clothes shop?
Because let's just say it had more than one mouth and they were both open.
What? Do you understand that a torso doesn't include the head? I mean, the definition of a torso is just the chest and the abdomen.
That's right. But it had more than one mouth, if you know what I mean.
What?
Front and back.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying to you. The arse and the fanny and the penis and the head are not part of the torso.
All right then. Check this out. I'll start again. What would you do, Mike, if I told you that a friend of mine several months ago found a mashed up rubber dolly with some bits missing, a full-size silicone rubber dolly with all the bits in a ditch, and he filmed it, and his kids smashed it with a stick, and it made this sort of noise as they hit it. What do you think of that?
I think that's believable.
And there you go. And there you go. So that's what I'd like to say.
I don't think you make kids finding a disused sex doll in a ditch is particularly. I mean, you know, but you're not going to get the 40 times out for that sort of thing.
Possibly not. I think, Mike, we should dive back in our convertible car, get John Chicken Dick Mellencamp on, and let's go cruising down the beach.
Yeah.
Sing us out with a hit, Mike. Sing us out with a hit, Mike.
I don't want to play.
Go on.
I got my first real six string, bit of Brian Adams.
Bought it
at the 5 and dime. Hanging it till my fingers bled.
Come on.
It was the summer of 69.
Oh, yeah.
Me guys from school. We had a band and we tried real hard.
I was wearing shorts.
And Joey got married.
Yeah.
Should have known we'd never get far.
You know.
When I look back now, The summer seemed to last forever. And
Oh, come on.
ends, you know, I'd always want to be there because
Yeah.
those were the best
You're the
days.
best days of my life.
Oh, yeah.
And off we drive
Back
into the
in
sunset
summer
with
of 69.
Top
We're just
there.
off
Keep-
then, aren't we?
keep singing it in the background, and I'll
I'm not
talk.
sure. I mean, for PRS purposes, I probably can't sing up much more than that. You know, legally, I can sing a snippet of it. I can do a parody of it for a bit. But I don't want to get some legal hot water with Brian Adams' publishing company, so I'll leave it there. And I'll just say that if you want to listen to The Summer of 69 by Brian Adams, then either download an official copy of it, by
Yeah.
whichever download media you use, or buy a proper old school CD, older school tape,
Yeah.
or vinyl record.
Why not? That's what I say.
Yeah.
Shall we sign out on this one and just go and-
Yeah.
what's the best way? Like and subscribe. Smash the like button.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Oh God, I've just been sick. Someone's off a t-shirt. Turned off. Turned it off.
Your penis.
Oh, great stuff.
The demon sees me.
Broadcast, you must be mistaken.
Come on down here and help with this.
Demons.
Paranormal existence.
You mean to say you came here purposely?
The first move in the great conspiracy had been made.